Let's take a break from AI. On Hot Picks, we are focusing on three consumer-related stocks. We're joined by Nik Modi, Managing Director and Global Co-Head of Consumer Research at RBC Capital Markets. Nik, thanks very much. Start off with your first idea, if you would. Monster Beverage, it's up more than 20% this year. You do see more upside?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Monster is levered to a really good category in energy drinks. And what's really interesting here, and kind of out of consensus or contrarian view is it's actually trade down that's partly helping the energy drink category, because the price of coffee and the price of carbonated soft drinks, other, caffeinated beverages have gone up materially more than energy drinks. And so consumers are actually down trading, if you think about it, in terms of getting their caffeine fix. So we continue to like Monster. We think they have a big global opportunity, in addition to seeing good growth here in the US as well.
Where do they fit in? I mean, into the beverage industry? Obviously, they're smaller than the likes of Pepsi, but they do have enough heft to get shelf space, for example?
Yeah, remember that Monster actually is distributed through the Coca-Cola network. And so they have the ubiquitous reach of Coke. And that's not just in the US, that's global. So that's why I think with the category doing as well as it's doing, with Monster innovating and putting out good kind of sponsorships and local events, I think that they're going to continue to gain shelf space.
Give us your take on Primo Brands. They just had a choppy quarter, I believe. But what are they? Are they all about water, for example?
Yeah, look, I've been covering this industry for over 20 years, and bottled water and packaged water has been gaining share for most of that time. And I don't think that's going to reverse all of a sudden. So that's what they sell. They sell the home and office water delivery, the big jugs that you find in the office and also at home. They sell Saratoga, Mountain Valley, Poland Spring. So really well-known brands. They've run into a little bit of an integration hiccup as they have merged with their biggest competitor. But we see that as a very temporary dynamic. We think this pullback has kind of overshot to the downside and think that there's some pretty good value here.
Tell us about the water industry. I mean, how does it operate? It's again, lots of mom and pop players locally, I think.
Yeah, well, the main thing going on with water is that there's a lot of concern over the quality of municipal water or tap water, right? And obviously with all the big weather events that we've had that might impact and compromise the water supply and water sources, people have been migrating more and more to packaged beverages and packaged water. So that's really what's driving a lot of the growth across the business. For Primo particularly, they have global brands, but US nationwide brands, but they also have regional brands. And so they have a really good portfolio structure that they can use to get to basically every consumer in the US.
And then finally, Estee Lauder. We're switching from beverages here. You see upside in Estee Lauder. Why is that?
Yeah, they've been on a big cost-cutting program. So, over $1 billion of costs coming out of their income statement, but they've been under a lot of top-line pressure. And so there's been a lot of operating deleverage. We think that deleverage will go to neutral leverage or even positive leverage as we get to the end of this calendar year and into 2026. And as a result, we think that you're going to start seeing much better earnings growth from Estee, and I think that will drive the stock higher.
And where do they fit into the cosmetics industry? Are they mid-market or are they seen as very high-end?
Yeah, they're towards the prestige end of the category. They don't really sell much at the mass price point at this point.
Right. So their marketing wouldn't be through drugstores, typically tend to be more the department store channel?
Yeah, department stores, travel retail, online. They just started selling on Amazon. So they are definitely expanding their distribution.
It's interesting you mentioned Amazon. Apparently Amazon an important sales channel for some beverage makers as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Amazon's becoming a pretty legitimate player in the consumer packaged goods space.
It's fascinating. Yeah, the consumers or the traditional food retailers facing a challenge there. Just finally, what is your view of the U.S. consumer? Very hard to generalize, but unemployment has been going up in the United States.
Yeah, we've been cautious on the consumer. It's really not about the economic data. I think the reality is grocery inflation has outpaced wage inflation since COVID. And that makes groceries less affordable on a relative basis. When that happens, consumers start making choices. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of value seeking. Now, the interesting thing is the higher income consumer is still doing okay. It's really the lower and middle income consumers that are not. And that's really where a lot of the pressure is being created.
We'd better jump. Thank you very much, Nik, for joining us. Have a great weekend.
Same to you.
Nik Modi, Managing Director, Global Co-Head of Consumer Research at RBC Capital Markets.